there are some basic movements we should always keep in our repertoire. Some of us have to relearn them. Some of us have to actually learn them. Me and Julius are experienced, and Dan, Lord knows, is extremely experienced. He's gonna coach us into a few of these. The first one will be a typical squat, a back squat using a barbell. Let's get it going. All right, so here we go. We all know that before you do any exercise, you have to warm up the appropriate muscles. So we'll keep the barbell empty for this. I will tell you this though, I haven't squatted in so long because my right shoulder bothers the heck out of me. Right. I'm not sure if I'm getting tight in there or I'm positioning the bar wrong lately. So top thing I should be mindful of when it comes to my barbell squat, what would you?
So bar placement is going to be important here. As we approach, we all have different bodies, right? So some of us have tight shoulders, some of us have some shoulder pain like you've been dealing with. So as I'm approaching the bar, I'm going to try and find a place that is as comfortable and natural as possible. So I'm going to find somewhere between the midpoint of my trap, might be a little bit higher, could be a little bit lower, but the important thing, we always see everyone grabbing tight. And if you have that mobility, that's great. But if you don't be afraid to widen out a little bit longer.
I'll get wide.
Right, so that may help you with your shoulder. So that's the first place I'm gonna start. Okay. Get under the bar.
All right. Let's get wide. I'm gonna use these ribbons to mark myself off.
That's a good place to start. Think about the meaty part of the upper back. The trap right here is where you wanna sit. Yeah, exactly, the shelf. That's where you wanna sit the bar.
That feels comfortable.
That's comfortable?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
From here?
Now from there, we step out. Now we wanna get a nice balanced position. A little bit wider than shoulder width, and we want our toes, could be anywhere from 45 to straight ahead, whatever's most natural with you. I would suggest most people have their toes straight ahead.
Okay, so right about here.
There you go, that looks like a good position. Now from here, important cue, we want to have our rib cage clamped down to our pelvis.
I feel it.
We don't want to have that big flare. We want to have our core nice and tight to support us.
All right.
Now from here, here's the big cue that I think is going to help everybody. A lot of people go wrong with. We worry about our knees and our hips. Let's focus on the feet because everything starts from the feet. So I'm going to imagine, let's just imagine we're standing on a giant piece of construction paper, right? I'm trying to tear it apart with my feet. So here, giant piece of construction paper, turn it on. And by doing that, now we feel every muscle from the bottom of our feet all the way up to our glutes turn on.
Yeah, wow, that's crazy. Yeah.
So it's almost like you're thinking about gripping the floor with your toes. That's gonna help you. So grip the floor with your toes.
All right.
Does that make sense?
It does. I'm gripping the floor and the construction paper with my toes. It's all engaged.
What should be happening is your hips should be opening up because of that.
Okay.
So now from here, yeah, there you go. Think butt back.
Everyone's complaining about depth. Is this depth proper or I have to get lower? Is this?
So you're actually reading my mind, Big Ron. Here, so everybody's talking about depth. You don't really need to go lower than 90 degrees.
Okay.
Unless you're a power lifter and you got to hit depth at a competition, like we don't have to actually go below 90 degrees to get all the benefit of a squat. For me personally, I'll go a little bit lower than 90 degrees. I can hit parallel, but that's because I have the mobility. But I'll never go lower than parallel because the risk reward outweighs itself in the wrong direction.
Thank you so much, man. At 6'3", everyone complains I'm not get deep enough, but I feel all those muscles engaging without going below parallel. So I'm gonna stay right in that 90 range from now on.
I think the key word is muscle engagement. And nobody can tell you that. Nobody can tell you if you're engaging your muscles, only you're gonna know. I mean, as far as an experienced lifter is gonna know, hey, am I engaging the proper muscles in this fashion? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
So,
sweet.
Yeah.
I guess you can warm yourself up now as well then.
Yeah. So typically, I'm just speaking for myself. Typically, whenever I squat, my hands are all the way out. Because my shoulders are rolled forward due to me being, me always pushing or anterior, right? It's anterior.
Exactly.
Yeah, monster bencher.
Yes, monster bencher. So I'm chest dominant. So it's harder for me to get my hand placement back where it needs to be, you know? So maybe I should be working on it, but I'm a bencher. You know?
Okay.
Right. I'm a bencher.
That makes sense. You're gonna modify your form to fit your disposition.
Yes.
It's okay.
So it would typically be like this.
Next up, we're going to go for the same thing, except we're going to do 10 reps.
See, and notice how he's a little bit higher on his neck, right, than Big Ron was. And so that's okay, because that's what's natural for him. Everybody has, you know, we can, from a textbook standpoint, we can say where you're supposed to put something, but everybody's body is a little bit differently. So if this is the comfortable point for him, this high bar squat, then that's cool. Whereas Big Ron, he put it down a little bit. It was like mid traps. It really comes down to your body and how it feels best.
Thank you, thank you. So optimal is a sliding scale.
Yes.
It's what's best for you.
Yes. Because not everybody is a one-size-fit-all type of person.
As we clearly see here.
Right, as we all see here, right? We've got many different, ranges of size, whether it's long legs, short legs, big chest, long arms. We've got all these different, we're all human beings, right? But we are shaped very differently. Yeah. So there's the textbook, A to B to C way of doing things, but within that, the variable is the human body and how it's different. So we take science and mix it with feeling, intuition, and what feels right.
That makes sense. So I'm gonna step back here for a moment because you helped me out tremendously with my shoulder issue and positioning myself.
Yes.
Julius did mention that his actual hips and mobility in that area was kind of different here.
Yes.
Do you have any cues that might perhaps help him with this?
Yeah, so one of the big things that happens a lot of times with squatting is it's like our hip. We don't have the greatest hip mobility. And maybe that's the case. That could be the case, but I'm gonna bet 9 times out of 10 that it's actually your ankles. And if you notice, I'm always talking about the feet because the feet is what it is the link to everything. Everything starts from the feet up. So oftentimes our ankle mobility is actually trash. So someone who's having hip mobility, let's take care of the feet. If we take care of the feet, the ankles or the knees and the hips will take care of themselves. So what I'll do is we'll do some ankle mobility, whether it's little presses against the wall to kind of gain greater mobility, or I'll actually use a band to really, especially being big, right? We're big, our joints take a pounding, they're a little bit harder and stiffer. So I'm gonna use a band to actually create traction and pull the foot, that tibula, fibula into the ankle joint and give you that range of motion that you didn't have.
Almost like the towel test.
Yeah.
Basically where you wrap a towel around your foot.
Very similar, right? Very similar, except for instead of pulling at the foot, we put the band here and pull back. And then we just do here. And then we do here.
Okay. So the resistance is being created from behind it as we move forward.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. We'll have to definitely demonstrate that one for sure.
Yes. So here we go. We set the band low to a rack or any device that isn't gonna move away. Come here, loop through. I'm aiming for the top of my ankle, right? Of the foot and the bottom of the ankle. I press here, scoot out because it's a little awkward, drop down to one knee. Now here, I'm trying to take my knee and put it over as far of my foot as I possibly can without letting the bottom of my heel come up. As soon as this starts happening, I've gone too far. So I just go here, just to the edge. Once I hit the edge, I come back. I'll go 3 forward, then I'll go 3 internal. Boom, boom. Now I'll go external. Same thing, not letting that heel come up at all. Do this 2-3 times and I guarantee improvement in the ankle mobility, and you'll feel it all the way from your ankle to the knees to the hips.
So with that being said, I'm gonna ask you one more thing there. As we stand here, you guys naturally, because you guys functionally are very powerful people, are barefoot. City Slicker Ron, has on a pair of sneakers. They're fancy, but apparently I might actually be in error with these shoes on. Would you encourage someone to be more of a minimalist shoe or a flat shoe? What would you have me to do?
So I would instruct people to take their shoes off.
Okay.
Because modern shoes, they look great, sometimes they feel great when we're walking, but you actually lose the ability to connect to the ground. See, we're going back to feet. Yeah. It all starts with feet. I know, even as an experienced athlete, 22 years in the game, if I have my shoes on, if I have my bronze on, right, they feel great to run and jump and play basketball in, and that's about it. But I can't feel the ground, and I actually lose my balance. So what I'll do is when I'm training, I always try to have my feet off, or my shoes off, so my feet can grip and feel the ground. I actually gain more balance and I strengthen my feet. And so having your shoes off anytime you train, I think, is like a net positive.
Man, I got a video I'll send you. I got a video of me squatting like 815 with some Air Maxes on, and it about went bad.
Yeah.
I made it through the squat, but I had 815 on the bar. Once I came out of the gate, I stepped back and I was uneven. Okay. And I squatted anyway. When I came up, I was fully erect, but the shoe still had some give in it. So people always made they were making funny, like, look, you should contact Nike and let them know. Let's see how far you can, how much weight
this here.
could,
So what was your weight at that point in time with that 815 squat?
My body weight?
Yeah.
About 430.
So you're telling me those Air Maxes are not rated for 1,200 pounds?
They are rated because they held.
Battle tested, 1,200 pounds, and they resisted. There you go then. This is not a shameless plug-in, you guys, but Nike Air Maxes apparently hold a lot of weight.
A lot of weight.
Good stuff, Dan. Well, I appreciate that big time, Dan. There's a few more things that we have to get into as well. These big fundamental motions. Squatting definitely has been made better for me, and I'm pretty sure the exercises you learned to help you out will definitely help you to further yourself in this journey also. Deadlifting is my next curiosity. Can we roll into that one in a moment?
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. You guys, I'm BigRonJones with tons of practical advice and buddies to help out with it.